So I'm going to go ahead and press record. So thank you to everyone who was able to jump on tonight. It's January 20th, so we officially have 11 days left in the month to hit Success Club. That's plenty of times to do it, or plenty of time to do it. I've hit Success Club in the last 24 hours, last 72 hours of the month, so there's plenty of time. But tonight we're going to go over how to hit Success Club exactly, because we have a lot of new coaches and a lot of people who are recommitting this year to working their business, so I think it's an important topic to cover. And then I'll just give you a couple updates and reminders of things that are happening. So first off, I wanted to talk about the 3 vital behaviors. So hitting Success Club is really easy if you just do the 3 vital behaviors every single day. And if any of you listened to the National Wake Up Call this Monday, then you would have heard some really great tips from Bonnie. And I just really loved how she uses her social media. And social media is a huge part of hitting Success Club, whether you're doing it publicly on your timeline or within Messenger and building relationships and so forth. So what I really liked about what Bonnie said is she looks at inviting the invite differently than some people. So some people might look at it as making sure you're sending direct invites to 3 different people a day. But one thing that I've been utilizing a lot or implementing into how I run my social media is by inviting in different ways of how I share certain things. And so one of those things is sharing about your workouts, sharing about your nutrition or your Shakeology. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to post like a bag of Shakeology, but just kind of, sharing with the world that you're taking care of yourself, and you can be really creative in how you do that. And then also sharing about the business. And as a new coach, I didn't share about the business on Facebook a ton, and I didn't invite people to become coaches that much. And that was one of the reasons that I had such a slow start, because I was just so focused on hitting Success Club. But we're going to talk about this a little bit later on in the call. If you want to build a successful business, you have to recruit. You have to talk about the business on Facebook, and you have to invite people to it through Messenger or in real life or whatever. Like, you have to tell people, hey, have you ever thought about being a coach? Or you'd be a really great coach. And you have to open that door and plant that seed in people's heads. So there's a ton of different ways to share about the business, and you can share about the business in every single post that you make on Facebook, and in very creative ways, whether it's jumping on a webinar, being super excited about whatever it is you're doing, whether you're meal prepping. One good, I guess you could say, like, format that I use when I share is the felt, found, feel technique, which you use in like a story format. So a lot of times I'll be like, before, like 2 years ago, before I found this community, and I use community a lot when I'm sharing, I felt like I was stuck. I felt like I didn't know how to cook for myself. I felt like I had tried everything. And then what I have found is that being a part of a community has taught me how to be resourceful, and reminds me how to take care of myself, or how to mix things up so things get exciting. And now I feel amazing. Now every day I can be present in my at my job, or with my children or my spouse or whatever. So there's just so many different ways that you can share how the business has changed your life, whether you're a brand new coach and you've been a coach for 2 days, or you've been a coach for 2 years. And also, regardless of how much money you make. One thing that I really took from last year is that your success how much money you make per week with Beachbody does not define your success as a coach. It doesn't determine if you're a good coach or not. So on that note, the best advice that I have is to just kind of have like an as if attitude. So that is one thing I did really well at in the beginning, is I just acted as if. I acted like I had already been a coach for a while. I just shared fearlessly about what I was doing. and didn't stay stuck in my head about what people would think, or the fact that I didn't know every single program or product that we had to offer. And you'll hear me say this a lot, but even if you've been a coach for 2 days, you know more than someone who has never signed up, because you went through the whole process. You know how it works. So you already know someone, you already know more than a new person or someone who's doesn't know what coaching is. You already know more. And then another thing, as far as doing the 3 vital behaviors and sharing on your social media and sharing about the business, is handling objections that you get publicly. And this is so amazing. And it's changed my business so much just in this month when I started doing it. So you'll hear objections all the time, every single day, and you can make posts around them. So for example, and I always make it relate to, like, I felt that way as a new coach, you know, so you could share something about, like, I used to never think that I had the money to buy, to invest in my health, or to buy organic stuff or whatever. And then I found that it really wasn't that difficult to move money around, or since becoming a coach, I was able to earn just a little bit extra a month, just maybe 100, or like, I know I'm going to be able to earn a little bit extra money a month that will be able to afford me these things. And it's made me feel more empowered, more in control of my journey, and more excited about my future, because I know I'm building something that I can invest back into myself, which will make me be a better person in my loved ones' lives, or whatever, you know. So you can see how you can overcome objections publicly. And some other objections is, like, I'm not in the best shape. You know, I still have weight to lose. Like, I don't want to sign up as a coach until I have a transformation. That's one that you'll get a lot. And so I would make a post saying something like, I didn't think I'd be a good enough coach because I didn't have a 6-pack. But what I have found is that, not just with my journey, but the other successful coaches on my team, being on your journey and inviting people to come along with you on that journey, those coaches are usually the most successful. So sharing that kind of stuff fearlessly on your Facebook and, like, talking about coaching in that way will draw so many people to message you. Or maybe you'll have people come out of the woods who, you know, said no to you in the past. Or maybe you follow up with them and you don't know, but they've been watching your posts and you've been handling all of their objections, and all of a sudden they're ready to sign up. So those are some really great ways to do it. And then I want to just kind of make a little plug here on what's called Facebook affinity, which is super important. And you don't need to know, like, too much about it. It's actually really simple. But if you're doing the 3 vital behaviors every day, you're inviting X amount of people, whatever your goal is, and you're being proof the product works, and you're doing your personal development and working on yourself, all of those things will move your business forward. But if you want to go faster, then you need to work on building your Facebook affinity with as many people as possible, and growing your network. So if during your scheduled business hours, if you're doing, like, for example, the Lauren Majeski Power Hour, and you'll learn what that is, Samantha, but if you're doing, like, a power hour, one of the behaviors that it has you do is it has you send a message to the people that have accepted your friend request. It has you send them a message, and then it has you comment on a couple of their photos, as well as ask a question on one of their photos. So and I'm the kind of person that always needs to know why something is being done, or I probably won't do it if I don't know the importance behind it. So the reason that is built into the power hour is because you're actually building what's called affinity between that person. So what will start happening is your posts are going to show up in their timeline first and more often. Because if you think about it, however many friends you have on Facebook, like, I almost have 3,000 now, and it was probably like 500 when I first became a coach, but I don't see all 3,000 of those people's updates and posts in my newsfeed. Like, you might notice that with your Facebook. And you might click on someone, or like, you're checking up on someone and you click on their Facebook and they have like 10 new posts, and you might be on Facebook all day, but you never saw any of them. So that's what Facebook affinity is. It's super important because you want, if you're going to be sharing boldly and fearlessly and putting time into your social media, you want to get as many eyes on it as possible. So if you wonder like how some people get 100 likes or 200 likes on their photos, it's not because they're like, it's not because anything particular about them. They don't have anything going on more than you do. They just have more affinity. Obviously, you want to share good content. You want to share clear pictures, good natural lighting, not yellow lighting or whatever. And you could just study other people's social media, other successful coaches, without holding judgment or comparing like yourself to a coach who's already been around longer. But you can do that in just a very objective way to get ideas. And I do that all the time. So those are just some different ways how you can work your business on social media and really help yourself out. So as far as like your daily working hours, you want to stay organized, and especially since we work on the internet and on social media, it can be super easy to get distracted. And so we have, and I talk about this on every call now, but our Team Hear Me Roar specifically, we have what I call boundaries. So our team boundaries, I'll just go through them real quick, is to be positive, and in our team group especially, we're there to encourage and uplift one another. So if anyone has an issue, just definitely message me and I'll take care of it. Another one of our team boundaries is inhibitors. So you have to think about what are things that are going to be inhibiting your success. That could be like feeding into negative people's beliefs. Scrolling is an inhibitor, like just scrolling aimlessly through Instagram or Facebook. That can be an inhibitor to your growth. It's a waste of time. And I know some coaches, and I've been trying to do this, they reward themselves with that. So at the end of the day, like after they've done their invites and whatnot, they can lay in bed and like scroll aimlessly and do whatever they want, but not until the work gets done. So the last boundary that we have is relevance. So always ask yourself, and I do this all day long, is what I'm doing right now relevant? Is it relevant to my goals? Is it relevant to building my business? Or is it not, is it not helping me towards do any of those things? So that way you can really like nip things in the butt if you start getting distracted. So just ask yourself, is it relevant? And same with when you're, when we're posting in the team group and stuff, just ask yourself if it's relevant. So that brings me back to the business building activities. So your scheduled daily work hours, because most of you here are still working and you're building your Beachbody income on the side. So during your scheduled business hours, you want to make sure that you're doing business building activities. So business building activities don't include your challenge groups. It doesn't include, the time that we went to set up our challenge group. That doesn't include like business activities, even though it's part of your business. Checking into like Team Hear Me Roar, Team Set Your Soul on Fire, asking questions, purging through the file section, doing personal development, doing your workout, drinking your Shakeology. Those don't count as like scheduled business hours. I do recommend scheduling those things. But what the building activities are specifically set out in the Power Hour, which is inviting, building relationships, systematic invites. I don't even count social media posts or creating content as business building activities. So it's simply building relationships. 80% of what you do in your time should be focused on building relationships and inviting. The other 20%, checking into your training group, checking into the challenge group that you're running, doing your PD, doing other things around your business, building a website, whatever, which I don't suggest you pour a lot of energy into because it's not gonna help you, at least in the beginning. So touching on So what all that is going to do is you're inevitably doing those things every single day and being very consistent, which is always the most important thing, is going to help you sign coaches. You're going to hit Success Club every single month. You're going to sign coaches. And it'll happen in result of all of those things. So I wanted to touch on being organized really quick, because I know that some people have goals and they sit down to do their power hour and they don't really get a lot done. And it's kind of like your workout, I think, because when I started doing the power hour, I found that it took me 2 hours to do everything. And so every time I sat down to do it, I just tried to cut that time down by 15 minutes and just be more efficient about getting all of those things done. And so the more you do it, you'll get better at it, and it will legitimately only take you about an hour. So this might be really helpful to you, because if you're not waking up an hour early or staying up an hour later or whatever, a lot of days I won't sit down and do a power hour. I'll just like work randomly throughout the day, whether I'm standing in line somewhere or I have, like 10 minutes before an appointment or whatever. So I work mostly from my phone. And if you have an iPhone, I encourage you to make a folder, like specifically, and you probably can't see this, but specifically for what you'll need, like the things that you're going to use most often. So in this like Beachbody folder, I have everything that I need. So if I need to talk to a challenger, or if I need to invite a coach to the business opportunity, if I need to handle an objection, if I need to enroll a new coach or sell a challenge pack, I have everything in this folder. And so one of the things I have is the 5-step invite script. And I just bookmarked everything. And so in Safari, if you open the Google Doc, you can just click on the little icon and add it to your home screen. Do you know how to do that? You have an iPhone? Okay, cool. So you can just add it to your home screen, and I'll post a screenshot of this in our group so you guys can see everything that I have on my phone. It's not a lot, but that way I can just open it and just literally just like copy and paste what step I'm at when I'm in a conversation with someone, and use the scripts. If you've read the book GoPro, one of the things I took from that book is it doesn't matter if it works, it matters if it's duplicatable. So you might be able to hit Success Club and sign coaches without using scripts and just like talking to them. And I've done it before, but you want to be able to teach your new coaches how you did it. You want to be able to teach them like how you hit Success Club and how you sign, 3 to 5 coaches a month. So that's why the scripts are really important. That doesn't mean that you can't customize them. Every situation's a little bit different. I read what people what people write to me first. I don't just like send them a script. But it helps you stay on track and they work, and you can, edit them or whatever, add emojis to make them more engaging and make them more you. Ultimately, you want it to be authentic and sound like you. So that's how I stay organized on my phone if I'm working on the go or whatnot. And I have a bunch of other apps on here, but we'll maybe talk about that on another call. So it just takes practice. Like I wasn't good at like social media at first, but like I said, it takes practice. You'll look back on your social media and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, I did that as a new coach, but it gets better. And just one thing like not to do, just don't be salesy, don't repost stuff that Beachbody has. Use your own graphics, use your own photos. People really like eyes. They like to see human eyes. So post selfies or you doing something, looking into the camera. If you're going to start making videos, which I highly suggest to do either once a week, or you could do it every day on your Facebook, and people, and don't wear sunglasses because people want to be able to connect with you and look into your eyes. But yeah, so I wanted to touch on hitting elite really quick. So you probably don't know what elite is. Like I don't expect you to know. Some of you might. But hitting elite is like the ultimate. It's like what you should push for. It's like what everyone pushes for. And I'm mentioning it now because it's the beginning of the year. It's the first of the month. And I didn't know what elite was last January. I didn't know what elite was until maybe like April or May. And if I would have known, I would have been able to shoot for it sooner in the year. So every coach, even Amy Silverman, even coaches in the top 10, start at 0. So we all started at the same playing field. And so elite is made up of 3 components. It's made up of you hitting Success Club, you helping your new coaches hit Success Club, which means, signing coaches, recruiting coaches. And then it's made up of your whole team volume. So the third component, you don't really have to worry about. What you need to worry about as a new coach is making it a non-negotiable to hit Success Club every single month. And I don't think I mentioned this to everyone, but during your first full 3 months as a coach, so for you, Samantha, it would start in February. So February, March, and April, when you hit Success Club in those 3 months, which is really easy, just a minimum of 3 people, then you get a free ticket to Nashville, the summit, to Beachbody Summit, which is a huge event that we put on every year. And there's huge trainings. They have keynote speakers. Darren Hardy was one of the speakers one year. Simon Sinek was the one last year, which is author of Know Your Why. And Darren Hardy was wrote The Compound Effect. And then I forget who's going to be there this year. And there's also live celebrity workouts. So you get to work out with Shaun T and Shalene and every trainer. And it's so much fun because it's like being like, just think about a city like shutting down and you being around like all your like favorite people on Facebook and like inspirational people. And it's crazy. It's a lot of fun. And they have different parties that you can earn. And it's just amazing. And you get to learn about new programs that are launching and stuff. So yeah, you get a free ticket to Summit if you hit Success Club in your first 3 months. And what else happens? Yeah. So if you make it, your goal should be for elite is to just make it a non-negotiable to hit Success Club every single month. And that will be putting you in a good position to end elite at the end of the year. And let's see what else. You should be signing at least 3 to 5 coaches every single month if you want to hit elite. And the numbers are you have to have at least 3 coaches from 2016 hit Success Club each month. So, for you, like you might not have, like your coach might not hit Success Club this month, or it might be February until you actually have multiple coaches in Success Club. And that's totally fine because at the end of the year, you could have 5 or 6 and it'll make up for that time. So it's really not that hard for a new coach to end their first year as elite, which is why I bring it up. And there's so many benefits to hitting elite. Let me see what I was going to mention about that. So elite. I can't remember. God, it was really good too. Okay, whatever. I'll think about it. Wait, so hitting elite. Okay, so the way that you get people to hit Success Club is just recruiting enough coaches. So the more coaches that you have, the more likely you're going to have people in Success Club. And if you just lead from the front and like lead by examples, it's so cool because your coaches will just do exactly what you do because they don't know any different. They just mimic what you do. So that's what's cool is you don't have to like shift from like managing a team, or like you just have to stay in phase 1 always, which is just like focusing on your goals and your journey. And then because the system is in place for them to be successful. So yeah, you should also make it a non-negotiable to run a new challenge group every single month with new challengers. And it's really helpful to also have a success partner who has similar goals as you, and surround yourself. I always try to team up, like have a success partner in the business who's a little bit better than me, or maybe has some strengths, like I can tell that I kind of am lacking in. And then I just kind of like pretend like I'm good at those things, so they want to work with me. Not like pretend like I'm good, but I have to match their effort. I have to bring something to the table. So I just kind of am like, okay, well, I kind of got to up my effort in whatever area. But that's super helpful. Not hanging out with coaches that are like excuse partners, which goes for the same for your workouts. Like you want accountability partners, not like an excuse partner. So, and as far as like hitting elite and hitting Success Club every month, and I think I told you this, Sam, but it's really just a decision. And okay, I remember what I was going to say. It's so important. That's why I was like, no, what was it? Okay. So, the thing is, and this, I need to make a video about this for social media. The whole point, some people get freaked out about goals, and I get it, because I did write down my goals, but they were ridiculous before I was a coach, just stupid life goals that didn't really matter. But, a lot of people don't write down goals, right? There's a majority of people don't do that, which is, I guess, only like 1% of the whole population actually writes their goals down pen to paper. You can see who those people are probably. But the whole point of setting goals and setting a deadline on them, like I will be elite by, September, or, I will sign 3 coaches every single month until 2017. It's not necessarily so that you hit it on that exact day. It's so you're pushing towards something. And it doesn't matter. And this is what Amy told me last year. She was like, so are you going to go for Premier, which is similar to Elite, but just like a tier below? And I was like, no, I don't have the numbers. I don't have the coaches in Success Club. It's just impossible. And she's like, dude, that's not the point. It doesn't matter if it's possible or not. The thing is you set a goal, you put a date for it, and you run towards it. You run towards that goal, and you do everything possible until midnight on September 28th or whatever your date was to hit it. And if you don't hit it, then you do it again next year, and you keep trying. And so that's all I've done in this business is I missed deadlines, I've missed my goals, but I just move my goal date forward, and I just keep going. So don't be afraid to hit goals. Don't be afraid to like put it out there. Like I'm going to be an elite coach, or I'm going to be in the top 20 coach, or in the network, because you'll get there. A lot of goals are 2-year goals or 3-year goals, but that doesn't mean you don't shoot for it in a year. So that's what I wanted to say about goal setting, and you can use that in any area of your life. So I really think that's all that I wanted to talk about. And if you're struggling in any area, whether it's sharing content or recruiting coaches or staying on track with your eating, or if you have a history of, it was at 6:30 or something, because I have a bunch of people that are popping up. Can you please mute yourself if you're jumping on? I'll do it. I got it. Okay. So I just wanted to touch on, we only have a few minutes left since we did start at 6, which is the same time it is every single Wednesday. But I was just going to say, if you're struggling on anything, if you're struggling, whether it's in your life, if you struggle with depression, anxiety, if you're fearful of what other people are going to think about you, one thing I like so much about this business is it brings all of that crap up, and you're going to know, and you're going to be looking all of those things in the face, because the things that you have to do in this business and on this like self-discovery path involve all of those things, and they will be brought to the surface very quickly. So I encourage you to do personal development around those areas, and that way you can grow. And that's what I like so much about the byproduct of working this business. And as silly as it is of like a challenge pack and a fitness program and, a superfood shake, is that it really pushes you to grow in other areas and be the best person that you were always meant to be. So don't be afraid to dig in deep. You know, there's a lot of things that I wasn't good at and that I still have so much to work on, but don't be afraid to be like, you know what, I suck at that. Or I don't know how to genuinely connect with people. Do personal development around that stuff and you'll get better at it. And, you know, have a resourceful mindset. If, you know, you can't adopt the behavior or the mindset of saying, well, I'm just not good at that. Or I've never naturally been good at doing X, Y, and Z. Or I just don't have the right network. Or there, you know, I met this one gentleman in Texas who told me, well, the market down here is just overly saturated with coaches. And you'll hear that. And real estate agents will just say, well, it's oversaturated with real estate agents, or the market's not good, or whatever. But ultimately, you have to focus on what you can do and what's controllable. There's always going to be things that are uncontrollable. Like, you don't know who's going to say yes to you. You don't know who's going to say no to you. But what you can do is focus on the business building activities and have a mindset of, if I don't know how to do it, then I'll figure out how to do it, and I'll read about it or I'll learn about it. So yeah, that's really all I had to say tonight. And if you want to hit elite, I did do an elite call with Doug Moss, who is our Western region leader from corporate, or like manager, I guess you can say. And what he does is he works with the diamond coaches and above and helps us set goals on hitting elite, which is going to build, if you guys want to do this full time and build a 6-figure business, then you're going to have to shoot for elite. So you may as well do it this year since it's January. But anyway, he did a webinar for our team, and I can share it in our team group if you want to watch it. But it's a PowerPoint presentation and goes into exactly what you need to be doing. And so, yeah, I'll share that. But I'm just really excited for this year, and I'm excited that all of you decided to jump on tonight. So we'll do a little post-call discussion. I'll post some things that I mentioned in the call, and then I'll post the recording. And does anyone have any questions real quick before we end? I'll unmute you. Who's calling from 541?
That's Haley, Alexis.
Who is it? I don't know who he is.
Haley.
Oh, hey, Haley. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. I'm driving, so I don't know how good my reception is.
Well, I'll post. I know you didn't get to catch all of it, so I'll post the recording in the team group. Yeah, Haley and I are doing a 5K in April, so that'll be exciting. Have you ever ran one before?
I have done the Dirty Dash, which is more like an obstacle course instead of just running. So I've never done this one before, though.
And I'm not much of a runner, but I figured it would make me run more, knowing that we have it. So hopefully that's what happens. All right. Well, thanks for jumping on, and I'll see you all on tomorrow night's webinar. It's at Thursday that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It's not in this format, so you can come, in just a t-shirt and no pants or whatever. Like, it's just watch, so no one will see your face or anything. But yeah, the link, I'll post the link tomorrow or for that tomorrow in our group. And make sure your success partners or your new coaches or coaches jump onto that. I didn't talk about it on this call. We have about a minute left, but success leaves clues, you guys, and the people that attend the webinars every week, listen to the National Wake Up Call, and listen to the Set Your Soul on Fire webinar are the ones that are building the business. So you can't just decide to not go to class and expect to pass. Sometimes that works, but it never really does, right? So I'm glad that you guys decided it was important enough to jump on. If you ever can't make it, don't feel bad though. Just make sure to watch the recording. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.